Hi, this is Jason Freed, news editor of Hotel News Now, and we are here at the Hunter Hotel Investment Conference with Geoff Ballotti, President and CEO of Wyndham Hotel Group. Geoff, thanks for taking the time to chat.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
So, hitting the ground running, right? You got trying to get your legs underneath you. I got to imagine a lot to learn. I mean, 14 brands, right?
Just keeping the strategy going. We've had a really great run the last few years with the Wyndham Hotel Group, and really for all of the brands, we've had great growth on the revenue side, great growth on the property side.
Right.
And my goal is to keep that growth going. We've got a really great pipeline going right now. We're really excited about this week, about the deals we've been doing here this week, about the deals that are out there, obviously in not only North America but internationally. When you look at our pipeline of 114,000 rooms, we're very excited that nearly 60% of that pipeline is outside of the U.S. And so our development teams overseas are really motivated, really geared up. And all the brands right now are selling, and it's an exciting time to be, after 6 years in the timeshare industry, coming back to the hotel industry. It's a lot different, certainly, than it looked in 2007, late 2007, when I decided to leave the industry to join Wyndham Worldwide's RCI group.
Right. So you talk about growth, and of course global growth is one of Wyndham's priorities.
Yep.
I was talking to your predecessor. You got some big shoes to fill. I think he just hit his million-mile mark.
Yeah.
In the air.
Boy, I don't know anyone that traveled more than Eric, and impressive. I think he told us he was away for something like 200 nights last year overseas. But he built a great platform. He built a great team. He's got great managing directors that are running our businesses in Europe, in Africa, and the Middle East. We've got a great team there, great new team in China. And China's been a big growth market for us, as is the rest of Asia. I mean, my hope would be that I'd spend more time initially here in the United States with our development team. It's been a really great and exciting week here for us. We had a development show over at the Wingate Buckhead, which I got a shameless plug in at the end of the session today, as our owner Burgess and his wife were in the audience. But there's a lot of work to be done here in the U.S. and I'm sure I'll be traveling a lot. I'm not sure I'll be burning as many frequent flyer miles as Eric did, because he really is, as I say, established us overseas with some great teams that are doing some great work.
Well, I'll follow up on that. You know, when you're looking at the other regions of the world and the other markets, what are some of the areas of focus for Wyndham? Is it because the world is sort of just getting smaller, and that's why there's so many opportunities outside of the U.S., or is it just because the economies are doing better outside of the U.S. than they have here for the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think both of what you just touched on is true. The economies are certainly doing a lot better. China was not the downer everybody thought it was going to be a year ago. Europe has come back in a big way after several really difficult years. But also, to your point about the need and the desire for branded product, when you look at how the industry is on a continent which I've spent many of my 25 years in hospitality on the European continent, there's just such an opportunity for our brands, especially in the economy and the mid-scale segment. So few hotels in Europe, in Africa, and the Middle East are branded. So many of them are independent, and so many of them are looking for global distribution and global distribution systems and global brands, and we're hoping to capitalize on that, and that's what our teams are focused on.
Sure. You mentioned the Wingate brand. I think I saw a news release earlier today that there's a new construction prototype for Wingate.
And we just had Dinesh here in the booth, and Dinesh is building not only Wingates but Microtels. We spent the last few days rolling out the new product for Wingate, which is really plug and play. The new prototype for Microtel, which we're very excited about, and it's got great legs and is growing very well for us, along with Garden and with Hawthorne. Those are really the 4 new prototypes that we've been talking about with developers and contractors this week.
And is Wyndham's growth coming by way of new construction more than it was over the past couple of years?
Internationally, that's certainly the case. And again, when you look at our pipeline of 114,000 rooms, 68% of it is actually new construction.
Wow, that's impressive.
And I think the exciting thing is that there's been a lot of concern is supply growing too fast, but there's been points made all week about how in the economy segment you're actually seeing contraction. Whether it's Jan from Smith Travel, who is showing his flat pipeline story in the economy and mid-scale segments, or Mark, who is actually showing in forecasting contraction. It's great to see products at end of life going out of circulation, as the panel was talking about this morning, and new brands and new product, most importantly, coming in to replace it.
Yeah, and on top of the, I think what he was saying about the pipeline being slow in the economy segment, the RevPAR was strong. I think it was the strongest of all the segments.
They made that point repeatedly, which was very nice to hear and very nice to look at. And in terms of Jan's slide of who is less wrong, that you saw yesterday during the presentation, they're both in the 5 to 7 range, yeah. with PKF being more towards the 7 and Jan being at the 5 in terms of RevPAR growth for next year. So yeah, it's a great time to be in the segments we're in, and we're very excited about continued growth.
Absolutely.